and Daryl. My name is Medina. So my question is, I'm really curious what happens to children during this transformation. How are they handling this? What's happening during this shifting to this fifth dimensional earth? Are they automatically shifting, or do they need to also work on themselves to get into higher frequency? Are they naturally in high frequency? I have two boys, 12 and 8, and I would love for us to be on the same frequency, and I always think about it. Even though I work on myself, my husband works on himself, and we try to help them as well, but they are kids. So please let me know everything is okay. Thank you.
Everything is okay. That's really all you need to focus on. Everyone has their own path. You will always all be together at some point, whether it's physically or not. You're going to a fourth density Earth. Fifth density is non-physical. You're tapping into fifth density energy to imbue it in your third density body so that you can experience a fourth density physical reality. Kids are very intuitive. They're very still connected more than a lot of adults to the idea of spirit. But of course, it's all about what path they have chosen, what themes they are exploring, and what they're picking up from the adults in their society as to how they are capable or not of dealing with what they face in life. So the more you are willing to be creative and imaginative, allowing them to discover for themselves their self-empowerment, what their passion is all about, to learn the things they need to learn to thrive in physical reality by adopting their excitement to those lessons, rather than diminishing their excitement to learn those things, then ultimately you will have to know that they will be okay. And when and where it is important and relevant for you to be together, you will be together. So we would simply suggest that you don't worry about it, because that's a negative vibration that will actually cause things to take longer for you to experience the idea of the connection between all of you and your family. But you will always be members of a soul family, no matter how or where or when you experience that. So ultimately, everything is okay. Start relaxing into the flow of the way things unfold. Do not worry negatively so much about where they're going to wind up. They are infinite and indestructible spirits, just like you are, even though they may present themselves as physical children right now. So you have to see them for the spirits that they are and the journeys that they chose to experience for their own soul's growth. You have to see them as strong enough to handle anything, even though it may seem from time to time that their physical personalities may be a little lost or confused or uncertain. It's okay. It's part of the process of them allowing themselves to remember who they truly are. And as long as you are lovingly reminding them of that, especially by being a living example of who you are, then they'll take their cue from you when and where it's relevant for them to do so. So again, don't worry. Everything is okay.
Hello, Bashar and Company. My question is in regards to planet that has been dubbed K2-18b. I was just wondering if you'd be able to tell us anything about this planet. It's been speculated that it's a gas planet, or that it's a ocean planet. It's also apparently the James Webb Space Telescope has found evidence of carbon dioxide and methane, which is indicative of life, at least as far as we know it. So I was just wondering if you could verify any of this, or what you could tell us about this planet that would be of interest to us, and including maybe whether we will be visiting it anytime in my lifetime. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
You will not visit the planet in your lifetime physically. You can certainly visit it astrally. There is life there, is an aquatic form of life. Eventually you will realize that, but not for many years.
Hello, dear Bashar.
Good day.
My question, can you hear me?
Yes.
My question today is about the Tucson, Arizona portals. Some friends took me we hiked to a portal. It was a very large saguaro cactus, and we stood under it, and it had the most incredible love loving feeling that I've ever felt. My friend channeled 2 Andromedans while we were there that said that they were very happy that we were there and that they liked it when people came to see them. And I really want to go back there a lot.
Aww.
Then that same day we went on Mount Lemon and we went to the Hoodoos, where there was a huge, she said it's a massive portal where lots of ships, different ships and races go in and out all the time. It was very chaotic and loud and very, very noisy. So my question to you is, do you agree that those are portals? I mean, what I felt was real.
Yes. The idea is most people don't understand that from a certain point of view, your world is like Swiss cheese. There's holes everywhere. There's comings and goings everywhere. There are portals, some of them stronger, some of them weaker, but there are portals everywhere connecting you to different dimensions that are often used by higher frequency beings to travel and to connect to those different dimensions or to pass through from one dimension to another, maybe simply using your portal as a transition point. So your world is very much like full of holes.
Oh, that's wonderful. A quick question more, and my last one is that many years ago I had a past life regression or a soul retrieval or something, I don't remember, with a lady, and deep sleep, whatever, I was in a trance or whatever. She told me that my mother, after it was over, she told me that my mother was an earth angel. My mother's passed away in 2005. And that my mother preferred the life that she once had, where she was a woman called a nail. And she had long, dark hair, which my mother did not in real life. Yeah. And she told me that she would always be with me, and that if I ever needed her, I have this blanket. She explained this blanket that I still have, and that I could just get that blanket and put it on me, and she would be there, or I didn't even need to put the blanket on. Yeah. So is my mother always going to be an earth angel like that, hovering around the earth?
Well, you understand that the term angel doesn't mean she's actually literally from the angelic realm. It just means that she is of a vibration where she is willing to be of assistance, to be a guide, to assist and help wherever she is needed, and that she prefers that state of being. She prefers that representation because that to her feels more like her true self. It feels more like home. So, yes, of course. Now, beings on the other side have their own lives. They're not just hanging around waiting for you, but they will be there when you need them, because time for them is not what it is for you. And as soon as you truly need them, they can be there instantaneously. And they're always willing to do so because they are full of unconditional love for you.
Will she always be that kind of person on the other side, or will she eventually move on to do something else?
Everyone moves on, but that doesn't mean you still can't access that part of her, because that always exists as a part of her greater being. It just depends on what her focus is on her journey for herself, but that doesn't mean that those parts within them are not always available to those that need them, because that's what it means to be a greater being, is you are many things to many people, and each individual can call upon the aspect of the greater being that they are familiar with, that they may need assistance from.
Okay, thank you so much. I love you so much, and thank you for this interaction today.
You are welcome. Our unconditional love to you as well. Good day.
Good day. Aveo.
Aveo.
Hi, Bashar. This is a question to a dream I had the other day. I was in this room I often go to, and together was my brother. And in the room there was these white tulips that I was being told that if I wanted to have a higher and deeper connection to you, I could eat one of them or more. I ate 3 or 4 and thinking these white tulips are a little bit too unreal to be real. And I remember the taste of them and eating them. You were very present in the room the whole time. There was also a woman there observing the action of my brother and me, and she asked me why we did so. And I asked and explained to her. And then she said, if you really want to have this connection, I have the real one. And she gave me one flower. And I observed it, and the flower head of the white tulips, I could see all the pattern, like if I saw it under a microscope, holding it in my hands. Those white fluorescent colors going through the pattern of the flower. I ate it. It was very different taste. And I want to ask you, do you have any connection to the white tulips, and what would this dream mean to you? Thank you.
This is, in some sense, what we just talked about in terms of the symbol of a white flower, meaning that it is a permission slip symbolically presented in the form of a flower, energetically speaking, that allows you to open up to higher frequencies of consciousness, to open up to the light, the higher light. So it is a kind of energetic astral tool that is presented in a way that you understand as a life form, the flower, that allows, when you absorb it, things to open up within your consciousness as a flower opens to the light, but the different flavors represent opening up to different things, different energies, different frequencies, different realities. So that's basically what it represents as an astral experience that you had using those symbols that are representative of different forms of life on our planet and other planets and other dimensions, such as flowers, but they have that symbolic, energetic meaning as a permission slip. And therefore, ingesting them in the way that you did as an astral being allows your energy to open up to higher light, to experience more connections to more dimensions of reality.
Of Willa Hilla-Christing's energy through this channel. So you're going to gravitate more likely to the mentor for Willa, which is Holly Cotton. The idea is that you are beginning to experience the connection from the cryptic level to the nocturnal level, which is usually represented by the awareness of parallel realities. So you are taking advantage of the vibration of the consciousness, the frequency of the consciousness of Willa's mentor to help accelerate you in your process of going from cryptic to nocturnal.
Good day. Hello. Thank you so much.
It is our passion and our pleasure. What would you like to discuss?
I'd love to know more about your personal art, if you're willing to share. Have in my head that you sculpt kind of with a liquid crystal, not quite, but kind of.
Yes.
So is there any like recent projects that would be exciting to share about?
Yes. We have created recently a large latticework sphere in which is contained an atmosphere that, when entered, allows individuals to experience different aspects of reality that reflects to them what they most need to understand to move forward on their path. It is like looking, in a sense, into a crystal ball, but it is like being inside the crystal ball.
That's so cool. Is that a collective idea, or how did that happen?
As you asked, I sculpted it. But it is connected telepathically to my entire civilization. So it is both a personal art project and expression and a collective one, because it represents what the collective would like to create, though it is done through individuals. This is done mostly as a tool of first contact for certain civilizations who need to see things in certain ways, who are already part of what you might call the interstellar alliance, but have to relate to interacting with us in a certain way. So we create this for them.
That's so cool. So can you expand on that in terms of how it relates to your ships? Because I think you said your ships also are created from the same type of crystalline matter. And it just makes me wonder, right? Like you mentioned that there would be no dashboard if we went in there, because it's about your higher self and interacting with that.
It's a slightly different kind of material, though the principles are similar. But it represents the idea of a solidification or physicalization of our soul, of our higher mind. And that's why there is a telepathic connection, because in a sense, the ship is us.
That's so cool. So what does like, if I were able to go in there, what would I see? Like, you don't eat, so you don't need a kitchen. You don't sleep, so you don't need a bed. So what determines like the size, the shape, the design of the inside of your ship?
Many different things. Primarily, it would seem like an unbroken, seamless form, either circular, maybe triangular, maybe hexagonal, in terms of the smaller ships. You might see a power pole from floor to ceiling in the center, but again, out of the same basic crystalline material that channels certain forms of energy through the ship. You might see a wall that can suddenly become transparent to function as a window, but again, all of this is done by mind. You might see certain things like chairs, if they protrude from the floor, if they are needed, but if not needed, will recess back into the floor or the walls. So the ship is very malleable and responsive to our needs by producing the things out of the crystalline material that are needed in the moment they are needed and disappearing when they are not.
So cool. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'd like to know more about Anima and her role. Maybe if you want to share anything about like your relationship with her, what social engineering means.
Well, social engineering is basically a way of saying learning planetary management on all different levels, sociologically, politically, economically, spiritually, so on and so forth. So the social engineers will come after the first contact specialists like myself, and that's why we work closely with social engineers and why Anima is my colleague in that way. So after the idea of open contact, then the social engineers will be available to humanity to help you understand how to manage an entire planet more efficiently for the benefit of all.
So
all of its resources, in other words.
So how might, if I'm still around when she's here, how might I play with her or interact with her in the future?
Well, again, it depends upon your particular penchant for understanding the idea of balance and understanding how there is the principle that there is enough for everyone if distributed properly. That the idea of borders and barriers no longer really exists. It's all about the idea of proportional disbursement, of understanding the value of the resources you have, how to manage them most efficiently, and how to understand that there is enough for all.
Wow, very cool. And then lastly, I have been following my highest excitement. It's been really fun. And I am in a business now where I use hypnotherapy to help people reveal and transform negative beliefs. It's very exciting work for me. It's based on the idea that when we're little, we run in theta. And so we lay down a bunch of beliefs without a filter at that point. And so the work that we do brings the brain back to theta and reveals things that are no longer serving people anymore. Is there any information that you can give me that would make it more powerful for my clients so that we could tweak the process in any way that would make it more helpful or more effective?
Well, if they're willing to go into gamma first, that can help them unlock a few things that will make it easier to go into the theta level where the work can be done.
Oh. And can I guide that?
Yes, of course.
How would I do that?
Well, there are many different opportunities on your internet for understanding the vibration of gamma between 40 and 100 cycles per second. You can use different techniques, biofeedback, or even an auditory signal that is in the gamma range to put them in a certain state of association and information processing that is more efficient so that they can take that with them down into the theta state in order to process the information that you are directing their attention to.
The brain tells us where to go. Is that what's really happening?
Yes.
Okay.
But it depends on the state of the brain. And that way, by putting them in gamma first, which is the channeling state, it's like they are taking a submersible vehicle down into different levels where they will have an easier time of processing the information that they find there.
So that could be something as simple as listening to one of those frequency recordings before we start the process?
It can be. Different things will work for different people. You'll figure it out.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate it all, and I appreciate you very much.
Our deep appreciation to you and unconditional love to you as well. Aveo.